one.
Silent night, I only have one wish for the shooting star. Holy night, send me someone to love so I... Santa Claus, do you know Cupid sent his arrow straight to my heart, a waterfall? In love this Christmas, Santa, that would be the greatest gift of all. Send me an extra stocking to hang next to me on the wall. Santa, send me your love for Christmas, and that would be the greatest gift of all.
This has got to be the first time you've seen that trailer. What do you think?
That's actually quite good. I don't know why the elf popped into my head. I was thinking of, was it that guy? What's his name? Is the elf in the North Pole? Will Ferrell.
Are you talking? Yeah, the Will Ferrell version. It's like they made a claymation version of it. You got to remember that too.
Really?
Yeah, they made a claymation version of Elf with Jim Parsons playing Buddy.
Well, I need to watch that. When was that made?
A few years ago. Wasn't that good?
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. See, we're very Christmassy. Dakota's got to go round the doors singing carol songs. Is this not the favourite time of year for you? Dakota is singing Christmas.
Not really.
Here.
Not really.
How? I thought this was this was, get your hat on.
Then you clearly do not know me very well. My favorite holidays are Valentine's and Halloween.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Why? Because I like getting freaky. And hello, Anna. How are you? In the chat.
Okay, again, I wasn't looking at the chat there. I was that used to. I'm here tonight. Who's Anna? Spiritual. Hello, Anna.
What the?
What's that? What?
Did you not just hear that? What? Did you not just hear that?
No.
The fuck was that?
I don't know. Maybe it's one of the
like an old school sci-fi computer beeping.
As I'm telling you, it's the clangers for the moon. You came with the clangers, didn't you? Oh my god, I'm showing my age here.
Clangers.
You ever seen the clangers? The clangers that live in the moon. They go blub, blub, blub,
okay, is this some sort of old man reference?
I'm no old. I'm only 41. Maybe to you. I mean, look, the clangers. Sherry will ken who I'm talking about. Sherry, the clangers lived in the moon. It was in the TV in the 1980s and stuff like that. 70s, maybe.
Yeah, kind of before my time, my friend.
That's right. I'm forgetting. I'm talking to a millennial here.
I am nowhere near as bad as fucking Gen Z.
Well, but it's honestly, guys, he's around for a treat tonight because we're going to be talking about the moon. We're going to be talking about the latest UFO news, and we're going to be talking about Dakota getting a wig. So, Dakota, when does it arrive?
Just in time for the holiday special. You know, you'll see me dressed up with Santa.
That's right. Who's coming on this Saturday coming?
Stormy Daniels.
Who's coming on?
Okay. No, I wouldn't say no. Apparently, her and Dave Schrader are supposed to be friends.
Really?
I'm serious. He was defending her on Twitter a little while back when he was getting trolls. But let's see. We have Dave Schrader. We have Christopher's favorite hairstylist, Brian J. Laverty.
Yes. Ryan.
Our favorite paranormal e-boy, Lex. And we have Lisa Fry. And of course, these two idiots.
I know. But what else? On Sunday, we've actually got a guest coming on, guys. He was actually on the show last night on Ghost Squad Scotland. It's Watcher on the Wall. He's going to be talking about his time at the hospital. I mean, what did you think of that show last night? What did you think about that? Hartwood Hospital. He's hiding you guys. See, this is what I've got to put up with. Do you not think that the StreamYard's awful laggy now? Because the live that you were doing last night, the lives that you were doing last night with Sherry in the chat there was a really weird kind of lag in it. With StreamYard,
Yeah,
it
it
was like
was.
everybody was lagging.
Like I said, I noticed that StreamYard has been doing some updates lately, and apparently
Yeah.
since we started giving Sherry the keys to the company one, that's been fucking
Sherry.
things up.
Sherry, what have you been doing, Sherry?
I don't think we want to know the answer to that
If you've heard him,
question.
Sherry, it was going on about you. It was terrible. It was going on about you. Oh, I'm only.
I was like, I don't think we want to know the answer to what she's been doing.
I know.
Leave that between
Strange
her and
things.
Rudy and Billy and
But
Ted and
I must admit that was quite an interesting live you did last night. I only got a wee bit of it though because things were starting to get strange. People were getting possessed by strange entities from beyond the veil.
I wouldn't say necessarily possessed, but that Anunnaki key, that was interesting character. We may have to get him on the main show for a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
Get him for the.
Aye. You should.
No, but I think he would also be a good addition for the documentary.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the documentary, how is the documentary going?
All right. So I posted the latest new poster that I designed for. I don't think I've shown you it yet, Chris.
I have not seen it.
Oh, and you're supposed to be, co-founder and get all this special information.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to point out to the ladies and gentlemen that watch this show and listen to this all over the world. I would just like to point out that yes, I am co-founder of the company and stuff like that, but I am the most laziest one you've probably ever met in your existence. That's why I send it all over to him, and he does all the work. And I come on because I'm just handsome and everybody loves my accent. That's why I'm here.
I'll give you the accent part, not that.
You're a shite for sore eyes. There you go. There's a bit. What was that? The old James Bond.
What kind of Sean Connery is that supposed to be?
You're a shite. You're shite for sore eyes. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's no.
You're a shit for sore eyes. Yeah, definitely.
Aye, shit. No. Right. Hello, Smith family paranormal in the chat there.
Oh, I thought we got rid of it. I'm just kidding.
I know.
What do you think about this poster?
It's very interesting. There's a lot of hidden features in it. I must admit, we've got there's quite a lot of hidden codes in this. I see at the very top there, you've got something. It's very interesting, that is. Then at the bottom, you've got stuff. I would need to zoom that up on my pad to have a look at that, actually, because that's... We are light. What's that? A session to the age of space. I don't know why I said that in that voice. Do you know I needed a voiceover for that?
No.
What? Well, I think that looks cool. We could have Sherry. We could pay. What do you call him, Elon, to take Sherry up, and she could float past. And
I know it looks cool because I went to post it, on my Instagram, all the social media, and I posted a little thing about it on TikTok. Over 8,000 hits. I thought my phone was going to fry.
Your phone was going to fry?
Yeah, it was just ding, 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 ding.
I know.
Yeah,
I did the same with that UFO sighting my brother did, and I put it on TikTok, and it got something like 1,000 views, and it was annoying me, so I did mute it.
I'm thinking almost 7,000 views on TikTok, a few hundred on Instagram, and I was just like, holy shit.
I just share it. Do you think that'd be cool though? Maybe in the years to come, when space tourism comes in, we could have that song, what do you call it, 2001 Space Odyssey playing, and Sherry could float past. That'd be awesome. What do you think?
You do realize you can do that now, right?
In zero-G plane. So plane dives. No, yeah.
No, you can actually. Space tourism is actually available now, dude.
Hi, but it's like what, $500,000 to get into space?
Yeah, like for I was like,
Why is it so expensive?
There was this because it takes a lot of resources to get off world.
I suppose. You know,
I mean, there's this one. It's supposed to be essentially the equivalent of a space hot air balloon ride, right?
yeah.
I was looking into it. It was like, oh, come up, save your spot. $40,000 a minute.
There you go. A minute. This.
It was like a minute.
Wow. But there you go. We're going to have to get a GoFundMe for this one.
I don't even think GoFundMe would be able to help with that one.
But look, people are wanting to go back to the moon. We're going back to Mars, seemingly. What'll probably happen in the next 20 years or so, you know?
Yeah, we have another moon launch coming up. Oh, by the way, the little time capsule thing that we had the Bald and Bonkers thing put in on, that got delayed.
It was delayed? How?
We're at the mercy of NASA and SpaceX right now, so
that's true.
Out of our control.
Yeah, NASA's, I wouldn't say we're the best. SpaceX.
Like this is about like the 9th time that particular mission was delayed.
Elon, we should get Elon to do it. He could do it.
Elon is in on it.
But is he the one that's going to the moon? Is it Elon that's taking it to the moon?
No, but it's Elon's fucking rocket.
Oh, there you go. You know,
the one he purposely blows up.
Well, think about it in this, right? Think about this, right? One day, people will be living on the moon. Maybe not in my lifetime. Maybe in your lifetime, mind you, you'll be 110 or something like that. But it might happen if we don't all blow ourselves up first.
Yeah, maybe. You honestly never know the way things are going nowadays.
You know. So, across it, what UFO news is happening in the world? What else is happening in the world now?
I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, now, pry yourself away from goddamn Xbox for 5 minutes.
I only play the Xbox on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, and a Friday.
Only on the days that ended Y, right?
Look, I've got to have my relaxation in GTA 5. I'll admit, I play GTA 5. Yes, I murdered bots by the thousands, driving a bit. I play Elite Dangerous Day. Which terrible. Right, that's it. I, as a founding member of Bald and Bonkers, I put his name down first for the first exploration of space. When it comes available and it's actually purchasable, I say we send Sherry first.
We can just cremate her ashes and send her up that way. That's only a couple hundred.
That's very true.
For sending her up.
And she's probably got a big cauldron in there and she's putting the toads in it and stuff like that, and stirring it about, putting my name and all that.
Oh, magical. Yeah, she's gonna start busting out jars. You know that. But no, here, okay. So on the ethereal winds, so take this one with a grain of salt, as you should with any type of like this. Okay. The ethereal winds. There seems to be a lot of people who seem to believe that Donald Trump will soon be back in the U.S. office, just in time to fast forward the grand reveal that aliens are among us. What do you think about that?
I've heard that. But I also heard that he wants to go to the Mars. He wants to put a man on Mars or a woman on Mars. Right? Maybe that's what's going to happen. I mean, let's face it, he can't do any worse than the one that's in chairs now.
Can you imagine if Robin Williams was still alive today to see Biden in office? Honestly, fuck politics. I'm honestly genuinely concerned because this man is acting like he has some sort of degenerative disease going on mentally and should not be in office.
Oh, I know. Well, hopefully the president will get changed, but
put an age limit on the fucking presidency.
I mean, I've heard that Donald Trump's going to come out and say he's got to say, "Aye, aliens exist and they're among us." But what will that do to society? What I can't. Me and you and Sherry and everybody else in the chat there that's in us watching us, they'll be like, "All right, aliens are here, mint it." Well, I can't wait to meet them. But
Yep.
the
I
really
told you
religious
so.
ones, really, what's going to happen with the really religious ones? And I mean the
Well,
really
here's the
religious
thing.
ones, the ones that think the earth's flat and the sea goes
Well,
off the edges and stuff like that.
Here's the thing. I mean, think about it.
Mhm.
First off, there's already a genuine concern among certain government agencies that should some kind of reveal like that happen,
Mhm.
you know, they think, should something like that happen, they genuinely believe that they would have to prepare for a mass suicide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people,
But
try to say,
why?
"Oh, Dakota,
Why would you
why
kill
is that?"
yourself?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm going into it. If people ask all the time, it's like, Dakota, that is morbid. But I think people are ready. People are ready. It's like, no, you're not. You
Yeah.
can read about this entire subject all you want, but until you actually experience something one-on-one, jack shit. Okay?
Yeah.
And even if you have the friendliest sort of encounter out there, like the type of friendly that say, "Oh, I need $10,000 to pay for this person's medical bills. Okay, here's 100,000. Keep the rest, spend it on yourself." That sort of friendly type of encounter. There's still
Mhm.
that level of shock, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
So if
if
you
you're
think
walking,
about all these people who base their entire lives on what they're told in religious sermons, what their
yes,
parents tell them how to think and feel,
yes,
we have several people who can't even bother to read the entirety of a goddamn tweet, which only has 150 characters, let alone
yeah.
the novel behind someone's experiences. They're going to have anxiety attacks. They're
Of course, they're
going
going.
to freak out.
It's no that it's the really religious people out there that think they believe. I'm going to say something here, guys. See the Bible. I do believe in it. I do believe stuff happened, but I will say that there is more truth if you look deeper, and that's for your own self to find out, right? As I did in my travels. But what I'll say this is these people that believe that we are the only creation, the only life form in the entire universe, right? Right. They will look out their window one day and they will see this ginormous ship, the size of probably a small city, right? Just floating there, right? And they'll be like, "That's you." And then they'll see these creatures come off it. Maybe they look kind of human like us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they might be slightly different. They might be tall and blonde and all that kind of stuff. Or some of them might be little like children, right? Blue, like the blue aliens, right? Some of them will be little, right? But highly intelligent and that. And then they'll start thinking, I've wasted. Now let me think, I'm 60 years old right now. I've wasted my entire life preaching the Bible about we are the only creation, right? And that's going to be a shock to them. It is going to be a shock to them. Because then they've got to
I mean,
realize that they've wasted quite a bit of their life on something. I'm
I,
not saying, look, I believe in a creator, right? And I'm going to say this right now. I believe in a creator, right? There is some, even the extraterrestrials out there believe in a creator, right? But how can I say this, Dakota? It's for people to understand. A lot of religions were made to control people, right? What's your opinion, Dakota, on this?
here's the thing we got to remember when it
Yeah.
comes to religious texts, mythologies, all of these. People have this notion that, oh, this version is correct. This version is correct. This version is correct. Every single religion that we know of today, every interpretation of ancient scriptures from anywhere in the world is highly subjected to interpretation. And it gets twisted. Just like how rumors start today, human psychology has not changed at all, practically, in the last few thousand years. Humans back then mentally are the same as they are today. Things are going to get lost in translation. People are going to add their own bits.
Yeah.
It just happens. So you have to realize there is still a lot that we don't know that we are basing on others' interpretations. And going as far as the whole control thing, they're the first individuals to realize how much is left to interpretation and how lazy the masses are would be today's CEOs, politicians, church leaders. Some of the most corrupt people throughout history have been among the first to realize, wait a sec, these idiots don't have no clue. These idiots are so easy. They say the origins of the Illuminati came from these individuals, the barbarian Illuminati. These individuals knew that a solar eclipse was about to happen. They realized everybody freaking out, thinking that the sun has disappeared, it's the end of the world, blah, 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 blah. They said, oh, follow us. We know how to bring the sun back. Just enough validation was given to the public that did not know any better to where they started following these people. There's even a story that Abraham Lincoln, he grew up in a small town. He knew that a meteor shower was approaching. The people around him did not. So when all of a sudden it seems like the stars are falling, everybody around him starts freaking out. He's like, it's fine. He goes back inside his house.
Yeah.
The most corrupt people were among the first to realize that the masses are lazy. Mob mentality is something we have got to figure out how to break from if we're going to truly understand from within.
These people that are in charge right now are trillionaires, billionaires, whatever you want to call them, that control the world. They control the world with oil and technology, because let's face it, everybody likes their iPhone and everybody likes their social media and stuff like that. See, when aliens arrive, people are going to be like, wait, there's more. There's more to life. There's other worlds out there. There's other civilizations out there. And I've been spending my entire life just going down the usual day. Internet, sleep, work. And people will be like, I want to go there, because obviously, see, when the aliens they come, they will take people. They will take you. That's what I've heard anyway. They'll say, right, do you want to come? Do you want to come to our world and see our world and stuff like that? And people will be like, oh, this is great. What does a billionaire fear the most, Dakota?
Becoming a millionaire.
Becoming a millionaire. Waking up one morning and realizing the aliens have arrived. They've brought technology that gets rid of oil, that cleans up the atmosphere. You don't need to use plastic, that cures cancer, right? And then all these billionaires that owns like drug corporations where one pill costs like something like $5,000. Right? Right?
I mean, think about it. Let's look at Saudi Arabia right now.
Oh, good God. Aye. Right.
Oil empire. They have some of the their fucking police force have top of the line race cars. They have vending machines that literally just dispense gold bars. They have some of the most sophisticated level of technology over there.
Yeah.
All because of the oil that they possess. Think about it. If one day, all of a sudden, it's happened before. It's happened before where we get rid of the reliance on that oil. They lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, they have enough to where they could stash money aside and not, spend it on bare essentials and be perfectly fine. They can live out the rest of their days.
Oh, yeah.
No issue. But because they live such, prosperous lives, put in all this money to all these different projects, that would undercut them so much. And think about it. Anytime somebody's come out with something that deviates away from the oil, they ended up dead.
That's right.
In fact, they see a shooting that was in Buffalo, New York.
Nope. The connection has been
on TikTok. Was going on TikTok showing people how to create hydrogen.
Yeah.
Basically produce an hydrogen engine to make their vehicles run better.
Yeah. No, it's look, as soon as the extraterrestrials they arrive, and they're here already watching us and they're among us and just curiously watching us and stuff like that, they'll freely give technology, they'll freely cure illnesses, and they'll freely give technology for us where we don't need to rely on the black stuff that comes out the ground. And when that happens, oh my God, when that happens, everything will collapse. You think about it. In a good way, it'll collapse. I think a lot of countries will be overthrown. Do you know that? Like maybe like North Korea and China and all of these places will fall overnight. Think about it.
Yeah, it's needless to say, let's just put it out there. It is widely speculated amongst UFO circles, the ones that kind of observe the more spiritual aspect sides of things, that within the 2 years' time, 2 years, they're going to start showing themselves.
Oh yeah, I think to be honest with you, I'll tell you what I've heard, and I don't know if you've heard this and anybody else in the chat, but it's a lot of airline pilots right now. I don't know if you heard this. A lot of airline pilots right now have been told to keep quiet because one of them was talking seemingly like this other friend, and they recorded it, and they're like, "Oh, it's off the scale. It's off the scale." They're coming along the side of the planes. They're looking at us. They're not being aggressive or anything like that. They're basically, "Hello, I'm here," kind of thing. And even the passengers are seeing this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when the plane lands, it's getting covered up.
Here's something for you. Elena Denon.
Mm-hmm.
She was part of a major UFO conference out in Orlando, Florida. You look at some of the videos that she's put out since that event. There's been a number of passengers recording weird lights in the sky, things following them. It was like the ETs had a security detail in the sky above the hotel, above Universal, where this was all taking place.
Yeah,
because so many that Elena is very tight knit with, was also there. Damn near everybody there who went to that conference saw something, and they have the videos to prove it.
I've noticed that. I have noticed that. I've heard reports today that a lot of people that are into the UFO scene have been being protected. They've seen a lot of UFOs above their houses. And it's like, are they coming to visit me? No, they're not coming to visit you. They're there to protect you. They're there to look after you because they know what.
No, I was just gonna say, you've seen footage that I've sent you.
Yeah.
Of shit flying above my house, even since I moved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this last night, and maybe if you watched me and Sherry's live last night, I made a brief reference to it. Within like 15 minutes of when Sherry and I were starting up the live last night, My mother was trying to call me on my phone because she saw a stationary green light in the sky on her way to work and just took off.
So there you go.
It's happening.
Of course it's happening. I mean, right. I mean, what was your thoughts about that video I showed? The one that my brother did. I put that on TikTok and it got nearly 1,000 views, right?
It was definitely interesting.
It was interesting. Now, I look at the people in the chat. Oh, that's fake. It's Chinese lanterns. Look, in the UK, Chinese lanterns are banned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to say this: oh, it's helicopters. There was no sound, right? And then I'm going to say this: it's drones. It can't be drones because they're too big, right? Unless they're the size of a bus, right? Right. And then they're like, oh, but it's maybe helicopters far, far away, and it's you know what I'm saying? And they're all flying in formation at night. All the helicopters are flying in formation at night over the capital, over Buckingham Palace, which is a no-fly zone.
Unless there was something seriously going on. Look, for those of you who try to point that out, I'm just going to say this. You know, we got into this little debate where, you know, people were trying to say, oh, if you're going to get Dakota, if you should be, as long as you're telling the truth, you shouldn't have to worry about backing your story. Well, first off, I actually believe in knowing what the hell I'm talking about. And if something catches my eye, chances are I'm going to research it. A lot of these assholes that are trying to stir up trauma, trolling people online, they make it blatantly obvious. And you've seen it yourself. The people that tried to coming up against me, they had a personal beef with me. And that was the only reason why they were trying to say something. And they were so desperate to try to pick something that they think would draw some sort of line in the sand of saying, oh, Dakota's a fake. They're pointing out the fact that, oh, I talk with my hands. I look away. It's called nervous tics, ya fucks. One. Two, again, this is something that is happening. And there's people that just have that mindset that unless you provide something tangible, you know, it's just a story. Well, guess what? We got something tangible. We have video. We have photos. We have eyewitness testimonies from parties that you would really, really hope are not trying to lie about something like this. Part of the reason why airline pilots are freaking out, why all these airport securities, they say it's a national security threat, part of it is, technically, they are concerned about possible collisions. Valid point. But these things can outmaneuver us. You have to wonder what some of these UFOs are flying circles around airplanes. You can't help but wonder if there's an ET equivalent of teenagers going.
You see, right, this is what I find funny, right? I go to it with that TikTok video, right? This is what I go. I would get the comments like this, right? I would get, they're not UFOs. The camera footage is fake. That's faked footage, and I just didn't even answer them back, right? Then somebody else would say this. Oh, it's CGI, right? And then this is what really annoys me. There'll be a photo of a UFO, and you can clearly see on the internet that it's fake, right? I mean, seriously, you can see it's fake. But people believe it, right? But then when you see a real photo of one, and I mean a real one, people are like, "Oh, that's fake. That's CGI."
Yeah, there's also, again, people trying to use examples. Yes, CGI is out there. Yes, it is more available, more accessible, and easier to run than ever before nowadays. Yes, but going with what you're saying, I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you can clearly tell that someone cut out the picture of the Millennium Falcon,
yes,
and put it on a home video.
I mean, this is how ridiculous the internet is, right? And this is for some of the people that watch our stuff. Right? Remember that night we did a live and we were talking about the Loch Ness monsters and stuff like that. Remember that? And I brought up a picture. And I brought up a picture of like some megalodon or something like that, right? And I can't remember who it was. There was somebody in the chat went,
Oh
how do
yeah.
you not? How do you know that that's not real? There's a picture of it. It was an
It's fucking
artist,
clearly
a
a
sterilization.
sketch. When it was a very obviously a sketch.
And they
That's the thing.
went, why are you saying that doesn't exist there? It's there. There's a picture of it. Aye. I went back in time 355 million years ago to take a picture of a megalodon and a lake.
You know, this kind of proves up the point, okay? What was the restaurant chain? It was here in the U.S. You have A&W's in the UK?
What? What's that?
It's okay. It's kind of like a restaurant. You get like root beer floats, hamburgers, stuff like that. Okay.
No.
Here's a true story. I can't remember exactly when it happened. I believe it was about the 70s or 80s. Before I was born, so if I'm not getting the time correct, that's why. But it is just a true story. Say like you want to get a quarter-pound hamburger.
Yeah.
Or it was like, right? So
Yeah.
you go like Burger King, McDonald's, get a quarter-pound hamburger. In order to compete with it, A&W tried to put out third-pound burgers for the same cost. I believe it was actually like a couple bucks cheaper, right?
Yeah.
They had to stop doing it because no one was buying the third pounder. And why was this? Because everybody thought the quarter pounder was a bigger.
Look, I'm going to say
Shake
this.
your head, but it's a true story.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, right? And I don't care if he's come charging up to me with burning pitchforks or whatever, right? The world is full of idiots, right? And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. There's going to be an alien event, right? It's going to happen. They're going to walk out of their house or out of their car or wherever they are, and they're going to look at it, and the first thing they're going to say to themselves is, "That's CGI. I don't believe that's real." Right? There's aliens coming out the skies. I know. It's a hologram.
I mean, they're already starting. They're saying they're already trying to say that all of this is sophisticated hologram technology. And yes, there has actually been declassified CIA documents trying to explain, trying to cause mass panic. I believe it was in Cuba by using this hologram technology to project the image of the Virgin Mary. No, I'm saying this is actually a declassified document.
Yeah, I've seen that. I read
yes,
that.
the technology is there, but how miserable is your life that you immediately go to try to say that the alien standing right in front of me, oh, that's CGI.
Right. See, I'm going to bring up something here. I'm going to bring up a subject that I find ridiculously interesting but funny. And you came up, I'm about to say, didn't you? You came up, I'm going to say, it's a certain society, right? And they believe the earth is flat, right? They believe the earth is completely flat, right? This is honestly, see if any flat earthers out there want to come onto this show and have an adult conversation about this. Message me or Dakota, and we'll get you on the show after Christmas, right? And you can come on and talk about this. But I've got a question for you, flat earthers out there. I was watching them on YouTube the other night because they do like lives like this kind of thing, right? And they were like, "Oh, the Earth's completely flat, and there's the ice wall round about the Earth, and there's other places beyond the ice wall, right? Right? But the aliens that come down are actually demonic demons." But they've got their spaceships and they come from other planets, but the other planets in the solar system are planets around. But this is the only one that's flat, right? But they were like, they come down in their spaceships, right, from space, from other planets, right? And then they totally change it. Like maybe 5 minutes later, they'll be like, you can't get into space though because there's the thermosphere, the dome. So what is it? Why they believe the aliens are demons, right? They can travel between worlds and they can come to the Earth, right? But then 5 minutes after that, they believe that you can't go into space because there's a dome. See the hypocrisy we're going on here, guys. The hypocrisy. See the madness, how people believe this stuff. See the flat earth stuff. It was created as a bet to see how many people would fall for it. I mean, do you know there's a motorway service station near me, right? And I'm not telling you the name of it, right? Because I don't want the flat earthers chasing me up and down the street. On the main motorway sign, right? They've put somebody
I
in the
remember
main
this.
somebody in the main motorway sign has painted. They've obviously taken their time. They've stopped their car, right? And they've panned. I don't know what I'm going there. They've painted on it. The Earth is flat. Do you remember that when you were here in Scotland?
Yeah, I was there.
I'm just right next to that sign. I'm only just out for the sign.
Yeah, no, you and I talked, and you were showing me the village you live near Google Earth, and I was like, we may have. Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, because I did notice that we have had almost 200 new subscribers in the last week, just on the main YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, Chris and I technically have never met in person. However, it was back in 2018. I did go on a trip to Scotland, to which I found out through him showing me, where he lives on Google Earth, that apparently we may have missed each other in the wind.
Yeah.
So
2 buses go past this way all the time.
Yeah, I happened to see that flat earther thing on Coast to Coast, and when I came through that area when I went to Scotland, I saw it, was like, oh my god, that shit's real.
Yeah. Well, I went to a cash machine the other day there just to check balance and stuff like that, and somebody had wrote on the screen, "The Earth is flat. Don't believe the Earth is flat. Believe the Earth is flat." Right? And it was like a sentence. It was like a sentence. And I was like, "Wait." I mean, honestly, I am putting out a call right now. Please, I beg of thee, flat earthers, I want to interview you, and I want you to prove to me why you think the Earth is flat. See, I would maybe think, maybe you're right, but then you change your stories that many times. You say that the other planets in the universe, the galaxy, or whatever, are planets, right? And we circle the sun, right? And then we say there's aliens that come down, but they're no aliens, they're demons, right? But then all of a sudden you turn around and you say, but you can't get into space. So what is that? Can you come to space, or can you know? See, this is what I'm saying. I think they're just talking a load of absolute utter shit, whatever they think about it. Do you know that this is how mad, right, the flat earthers are? I don't know if you've heard about this, guys, in the chat. I don't know if you've heard about this, Dakota. Do you know that real flat earthers believe that Australia doesn't exist?
Yeah, I've heard this bit.
Even though there's flat earthers that are Australian. And I did have a conversation with him one day. I was in the chat. They banned me out the chat because I asked this question. I says to them, I'm ready for this. I says, if Australia isn't real, how come you get people that speak Australian? And how do you get people that go there on holiday? Oh, that's hypnotism. When you go to the airport, they hypnotize you, and then you wake up 2 weeks later and you think you've been to Australia. I'm serious.
Yeah, I've heard these things before, but you just can't help but shake your head. So
that's honestly, please, Lord, anybody that's listening to me right now, any flat earther out there right now, I challenge you to come onto this show and trying to explain to me why you think the Earth is flat. There's a ginormous ice wall. I will say this: there is definitely something funny going on in Antarctica. I'll give you that. There's something good. There's something wrong there. There's something really mysterious there. But you say to me that you can get into space, you can travel to all the other worlds, but then then all of a sudden you can't, but then you can, but then you can't. It's
unfortunately,
like
the Flat Earth Society is exactly what we're talking about how easy it is to manipulate a population who just want to feel like they're standing up against the man. You know, they have like it's like they haven't come out of the stage in their life where they're trying to, like, the teenagers rebelling against their parents' face. They haven't grown out of that
I mean,
mentality.
have you heard the one where the moon's actually the control room? And if you look really closely, you can see the windows on it where they all look out. And the sun's a big bulb, seemingly. I wonder what wattage that is. That'd be quite expensive, that.
I would. Very much would.
Yeah. See, this is the thing, guys. I challenge any flat earthers out there to come on. Messages. Have we got a company email? Have we got a company email?
You can go onto the company website. You can fill out a form. You can reach us at any of our social media platforms. You know, we want to try to have an open and honest discussion about just about every concept out there. Yes, we try to have this out, you know, kind of a fun and open environment. You know, everybody's welcome to come in. And yes, we do like making fun of people, but come on. Instead of backing out of every challenge you get for this kind of invite, you know, here's my plea. Here's my plea. Okay? Instead of backing out of every invite like this, now whatever pops into your head to try to plead your case to make you sound like you're some pitiful victim, how about you actually stand your ground? Plead your case. Yeah. You go. It's kind of like James Randi, who did the challenge to where if you can prove the existence of like psychic abilities and
that guy's right.
He tried challenging Sylvia Brown. He extended an open invite to Sylvia Brown, and this is what shocks me, that people still rely on this woman, even though she's been proven wrong with Amanda Berry. All she did is like, oh, yeah, he doesn't follow the light. He's not Christian. Oh, he's a bad person. That's why she backed out of the challenge. If you can't do that, you're not willing to stand your ground. You're not worthy to your cause. That's all I gotta say.
So I say this right now. I say this to any flat earthers out there now. I challenge ye to come on, and you'll be over. Thousands of people will hear you through Amazon Prime and everything like that. Here is your chance. I'll admit to you, yes, there's strange things going on right now. I believe in Antarctica, there's things there that's hidden that are strange, right? I believe there's things going on in the world, right? But the earth isn't flat, guys. The earth isn't flat. But I tell you what, the challenge falls. The challenge falls. Come and we'll treat you with respect and tell us. You know? Hello, Brian.
Guys, we want you on Through the Lens next week. Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I
didn't bother.
I've got no problem with it.
I had no problem, man.
We don't have anybody booked for next Sunday, do we?
We do have somebody booked for next Sunday. We've got the paranormal people coming on for Hartwood Hospital.
That's right.
At 10 p.m.
UK.
Unless you want to pre-record it through the week, Brian.
Now you go to ask us this? See what I mean? Anyway. Fuck, what were we talking about? Damn you, Brian, for distracting me.
They were talking about flat earthers.
That's right.
And aliens.
I had a point loaded up, but Brian just fucking distracted me.
And heaven doesn't exist, and God doesn't exist, but they're demons. The aliens are demons.
Yeah, I just. Oh, right. That's it. Okay, I'm back. All right. Have you seen this latest little argument? There's this map that's allegedly going around said it was found in some Japanese temple. I've seen the story change like 4 times already, so you already know there's something shady. But there's this map allegedly showing that there's a gap in the ice wall. There's more continents outside.
See, I've heard that.
Yeah, and I've seen the images, but I've never seen, credible backstory behind it, because I'm genuinely curious. Okay, if you found this, where did you find it? What's the story behind it? What did the locals who had possession of this map when it was found say about it?
See, right. Here's an interesting thing. Maybe there is hidden islands out there, right? And maybe there is hidden islands. But do you think all the millions and billions of people that's on this earth, and all the millions of pilots that are out there, and all the military and all the navy people and all everything else, one of them would have said anything? Just one?
I mean, granted, I will say this. There has been reports of gigantic holes.
That's right.
At the North and South Poles. There has been reports. And that if you approach these areas, now granted, you have to remember, the poles are where the magnetosphere kind of goes in. That's where the radiation of the sun comes in, and that's how we get the northern and southern lights.
Yes.
So obviously there's going to be some magnetic disturbances here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get into it, you can get into the hollow earth.
See, I do believe
that's also another topic. Now, that's another topic I would love to explore.
See, what happens if the flat earthers have maybe got this slightly right? Maybe there is another continent, right? Maybe there is another continent with islands and all that, but maybe it's inside the earth.
Maybe what map I was talking about earlier actually says is that you go into this hole. It was just their way of trying to get it all onto one piece of paper, but you managed to get into this hole. These are other lost continents, for lack of a better word. That's in Earth.
Do you not find it strange that we don't go to Antarctica? I know it's really difficult to get to and it's very cold, right? But there's meant to be so much resources there, right? But they don't touch it. Why?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's meant to be vast oil there, but they don't touch it. Why? See, I heard that. I was watching a video the other night on Antarctica, and there's meant to be reports that some of it's actually frozen whatsoever. There's actually trees and what I'm trying to say here. I think.
No, go ahead.
No, on you go.
No, I was just going to say there was at one point where Antarctica was at the equator. So yes, tropical jungles under the ice. Yeah, well, no, there could be millions of undiscovered things there that we don't know about just because we couldn't get through the ice. But we have several military bases. There's scientific expeditions that go through there.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Just like you were talking about how airline pilots are being told to shut up because of shit flying around them.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a rule down there. If you see something, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I found it interesting why Neil Armstrong and all his pals and all that have been going down there. Remember that a couple of years ago? They were all going down to Antarctica to the station.
You mean Buzz Aldrin?
Why? Buzz Aldrin, sorry. Buzz Aldrin, sorry about that. But why was he there? Why was Buzz Aldrin in Antarctica? And it don't say a charity event. They don't throw charity events in Antarctica. And who was it? World leaders? Obama
maybe.
went. Obama went.
Trump's been down there. And yeah, here's the thing. If there's supposed to be nothing down there, granted, military base is understandable.
What happens if what happens if that's the entrance to the hollow earth, right? Beyond that base, right, is the entrance to the hollow earth. Because you notice with Google, you can't really go up to it. See, Google Maps, it only lets you up so far, right? So what happens if right? What happens if there's creatures or extraterrestrials, whoever they are, that live there, right? And that's where all the world leaders have been going. And maybe Buzz Aldrin met one of these entities when he was on the moon.
There's old tapes from the Apollo missions saying that they felt like they were being watched up there.
Yeah, of course they were. Of course they were.
That they saw other craft up there.
Yeah, of course they were.
And of course, Buzz Aldrin, he's at the point in his life where he's going to ramble off and not give a damn. You know, he's just at that old man type of mentality.
Have you ever seen the video clip of Buzz Aldrin sitting, and the wee girl goes up to him and says, why did we not go back? Why are we not going back to the moon? Have you ever seen that? And he sits and he goes, oh, because we never really went to the moon, but we should have back to the moon. You never seen that? See, I think we have been to the moon. I honestly, everybody that watches this and listens to this, I do believe we've been to the moon, but I think we've been told to go off it and we're told not to come back again. Because it's fair resources. Why would you not go back? I mean, it's just stupid. It's stupid.
You know, I'm going to say something. There's a lot of people who try to point at the fact that the tread marks left from the astronauts' boots on the moon are different from the actual boots that were on the suits back home. You got to remember, there is actually protocols for astronauts when they come back to Earth. Decontamination, avoid Columbus and the natives sort of situation. They had specialized soles on their boots to where they can walk the surface of the Earth, but when they got back, they could strip it off of the suits, contain it, analyze anything that they may have collected. But it still has to have that tread, so they're not slipping and sliding like it's a big ass ice rink up there.
Yeah. And also that a lot of people don't realize that the moon dust is highly, highly corrosive. And people are like, but there's no water up there, right? No, it's not that. It's like mechanical. Let's say the rover on the moon was electric, right? It would get into the wheel bearings and stuff like that, and it would basically destroy them. That rover's still up there, but I can guarantee you this: even if you had a spaceship and you went back and got that thing would be lucky if it would even move. It's been up there that long, right? The dust is highly. That's the problem they've got, right? You build the habitats on the moon, you have to deal with the fact the moon dust, and it's the same with the Martian dust. Hey, the Martian dust's highly corrosive too. Why is that? Do you know? I find that kind of strange.
Well, it's not exactly conspiracy theory to say that it is speculated that there was some sort of cataclysm on the Martian surface to make it to where it looks like it does today. They actually fully believe that at one point in its history, Mars looked a lot like Earth. And if you actually look at the measurements, are you familiar with the term the Goldilocks zone?
Yes.
All right. For those who, flunked out of science class, the Goldilocks zone is a region of a star's orbit where it is believed that the temperatures, all the necessary conditions are just right to be able to support water and life as we would know it. Emphasis on that term, okay? Mars sits at just the very edge of it.
Yes.
Of our sun's Goldilocks zone.
I think Mars at one time did have oceans, and it had an atmosphere, and it did have life on it. And I think NASA's knew it's had life for a long time, but obviously it's not got life anymore. It's extinct. I think, well, what I've heard when the extraterrestrial tales that there's cities and all that underground and all that kind of stuff on Mars, right?
Well,
but it's not just that. There's been photos. Living microbes, but there's been photos on Mars of like the rover sitting, and it takes a picture of itself, right? And in the background, you can see something hovering, What's that? If Mars is dead, what is it?
I mean, wasn't it not too long ago where NASA released an image of one of the rovers, and there was a particular cave formation that looked a little too etched to be a simple erosion doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not impossible. We've had stuff like that found here on Earth, but
If you to take the if you to take the Earth and hit it with a ginormous asteroid, I mean a big asteroid, right, where it would take most of the atmosphere away and destroy the entire planet, right? Over time, it would look like Mars, right?
mm-hmm.
Or whatever happened there, a nuclear war or whatever on a grand scale, right? What happens if there is? I mean, I've seen all the pictures for Mars, and these things actually look like bits of rubble for buildings and stuff like that, right? I mean, right, let's take New York City, right? You vaporize all the water on the earth, right? And all the atmosphere, right? All the life's gone, right? New York City's all burnt and in ruins, right? And leave it for, say, 100 million years. There's not going to be that much left, right? There's not going to be that much left, but there's going to be things. There's going to be like columns of buildings and stuff like that that does survive. Maybe it's buried under the ground for a short period. Eventually, when the ground erodes away, these things will show. Have you ever seen as a life after people?
I don't believe I have.
For anybody in the chat, life after people is what happens if everybody that disappeared in the world. They actually done a thing. Scientists done this thing, and they take New York City. No, it wasn't New York City. Sorry, it was Washington DC. And after, like, say, 2 million years, right, you would look at a landscape and you would just see like sand and rocks and stuff. But if you looked really closely, see like man-made things like concrete underground and stuff, which still exist. And then when the Earth starts eroding that away, you would see these things. I definitely think there's something in Mars, and I think they know there was something in Mars. Maybe that's where we were originally from. You don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, here's the thing. And there's going to be, obviously, there's going to be people that try to say, oh, what Chris is talking about, he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm an idiot.
Just hold on. There's actually evidence that we've seen that exact scenario happen here on Earth in the time of our history in Egypt.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, Egypt's history is so extensive. The time of Cleopatra, as an example, had archaeologists for ancient Egyptian history. They fully believe that the Sphinx was at one time buried, then found again. And that's why a lot of the dates for Egyptian structures don't exactly have an exact time frame to where you can pinpoint this is where they started, this is when they died.
Is there no meant to have been, before we end the show, because we're at the end of the hour, obviously, but is there no meant to be been 3 civilizations? We're the 3rd civilization on Earth.
Speculated this is about the 3rd
time,
about 3rd or 4th round. According to contactees, it's the 7th cycle that we've gone through, to where ancient humans were at one point civilized, sophisticated enough to have their own flying tech, all this fancy stuff that we're just dreaming about nowadays. But there's been natural cycles of evolution and de-evolution. And right now, it seems like here in the next few years, we're moving back up.
Yeah.
And speaking of which kind of reminds me, I found something interesting. And it's somewhat in a book. It's called The Lyran Disclosure. Our friend Cassius read it, and he brought it to my attention because there was a certain binary sequence in that book that when he read it, It triggered seizures. It triggered possibly past life memories from his time as an extraterrestrial. That's what he fully believes, and
Yeah.
it's something that I've been looking into to some of our confirmed subjects that yes, they have something going on, and they've all reported that they've had things happen. Sherry being one of them. This author brought something up that caught my eye as well, and it's that. I mean, you've heard of reports like there was an old musician talking about he has a family in the stars, and that one day he was going to go home.
Are you
All of a
talking
sudden, he
about?
disappeared. I
Are
can't
you
remember
talk?
his name.
Are you talking about the guy? I'm living in a tin can. You ken the song I'm
Something.
talking about?
I believe that's it. Yes.
Who's that? Who sings that, ladies and gentlemen? Or what's his
If
name?
anybody knows it,
The
please
man who
tell
fell
me.
to earth. The man who he starred in The Man Who Fell to Earth. He starred in the one film. Oh, what is it? Come on, guys.
No,
What is that?
I can't remember what it was, but basically, okay, there's situations like that, and a woman we talked about when we had the weird stuff happen. We were talking about the Nazi UFO connection. Maria Orsic, she's believed to be one of them as well. Apparently, there's actually a rule in galactic law that says if someone from a lesser developed world, which Earth is considered in such a way, figures out how to develop interplanetary travel and decides to leave, they cannot come back to avoid upsetting
David Bowie.
Bowie.
David Bowie, The Man Who Fell to Earth. He started.
I don't think that was the. I don't think that was the one I was talking
David
about.
Bowie.
But he was
Simply Alan. Simply Alan. Go to it in the chat there. Simply Alan. David
I don't
Bowie.
believe that's the same one that I'm
That's
talking
who it is.
about.
He does. Lock your soys hatch. Prepare for launch. Him.
Bowie, he was another character. He was definitely a star seed. Yes. So was Bob Marley. But I don't think that's the same. I'm gonna have to look it up after the show because Bowie's not sitting right for what I'm talking about. But like I said, apparently in galactic law, if someone from a lesser developed world figures out how to travel through the stars and they decide to leave to avoid messing with the natural progression of that lesser developed world, they cannot come back home. Unless extreme circumstances.
So you're basically saying that the Earth is basically once you leave this rock, that's it. You can't come back again.
You know, that's another thing we should. That's another show topic we should look into. Is that a lot of these people who are believed to have some sort of UFO connection, then all of a sudden disappeared.
What was that? Was there no that young guy? Was it in somewhere in Europe? Mind he drew all over his walls.
Yeah.
And he just poof,
yeah, it was. I believe he was out of Paris. Then there's Boris, the Russian kid. Well,
that's right.
Not a kid anymore.
No. Nope.
That could be another. That's another show in itself. But you know, maybe with the documentary, that's something we can go into. I've got to look this. That up now because Bowie, yes, Bowie is involved, but he's not the one I'm thinking of. I believe it was a black dude.
I don't know who it is then.
And no, not Bob Marley. But even though he did, apparently Bob Marley is reported saying that he would die at the age of 36 because that's when his mission would be complete.
Oh, that's very true.
And when did he die? The age of 36.
There you go. See, that's it. So, Dakota, what shows have we got on this week before we go off? We've got the one in Ghost Squad Scotland where you're a guest. We're talking about Alistair Crowley's house and the Loch Ness Monster.
I better bust out the K2 because that definitely something always happens when Mr. Crowley gets involved.
So, what about this special show we've got planned for this Saturday coming?
Yes. We have our good friend Dave Schrader from what hotel?
You've put me in the spot, man. I can't remember the name of the place.
I can't remember either. Oh, well, we'll let him reveal it. We'll let him reveal it when he comes on.
No.
Now I say it's going to bug him.
I'm going to have to say it. Oh, come on, it's the something hotel. It's a famous hotel. What is it, guys, in the chat? What's his name?
They're
Oh,
not going to know.
no, but
Anyway, we
Brian
have Dave
Keynes, he's one of the
Schrader.
guests.
We have Bryant. We have Brian. We have Lex. We have our good friend Lisa Fry coming on, and obviously us. Now, yeah, let's keep it at that because that's already too many heads going
Palmer
at once.
House. The Palmer
Palmer
House.
House. Yes. Yes, Brian's trying to pimp us out to meet Dave Schrader. So,
yes. Is it Brian? I bet Brian can't wait when Dave Schrader comes on. He'll laugh.
No, but I say that I'm teasing with love. I'm saying that, but he's playing it smart. He's playing it smart going that way. But definitely next weekend it's going to be a good one. Hopefully we're going to have something that looks better and more into the moon bases. But that guy's flakier than some of the blondes I've been with.
But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, shall we end the show? I would just like to thank everybody for coming tonight, and we'll see you all on Wednesday night. Does anybody else, is Smith family not got a show planned for this week or anything like
that? I think Smith family. Keep yourselves tuned to the Bald and Bonkers channels.
Yeah,
everybody that's mostly everybody's got keys to the kingdom now, so they might decide to pop on. Should we say that the main show's going on a bit of a holiday hiatus here soon?
Yes, we are. We're going on a holiday, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not saying going on a holiday, because that would insinuate we're actually going to be doing something fun.
I know. I think we should all go to the budget for a holiday.
Christopher, we had to talk about this. We talked about this.
Ah, dear. But anyway, what's the holiday we're having before we go?
No, just so that we have time to kind of recharge and look into some other projects that we hope to launch just in time for the new year. The main show is going to be going on a bit of a holiday. However, that does not mean Bald and Bonkers is going anywhere.
No, still be here.
But I may decide to put, because this one's trying to run off and do his own thing, I may start doing something on my own. So
I was just a wee bit of a hobby on the side, man. A hobby, a hobby, But honestly, it's been a great show tonight, guys, and we'll see you through the week, and we'll see you at the weekend. And you don't know, Dakota might even get like you should dress up as Santa for the Dave Schrader show, Dakota.
If I could find a Santa suit that actually fits my large ass.
I've got an elf hat that flashes.
Yeah. Let's see. I could always, bust these out again.
Oh my God.
Yep, I found where I put them.
Jesus, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Honestly.
My head's so fat, these are going to break.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. Please check us out. Remember, in all the podcast locations, and we will see you soon. Have a fantastic week. Ta-da.
Be safe. Don't let the holiday crazy go out too much. My contacts in law enforcement are already telling me some pretty depressing shit. But unfortunately, it happens. Stay safe. Much love. Show some appreciation for those who are there in your life, because you think the 2020s have been crazy so far. It's going to get worse. Bye.